Welcome to the Heal Yourself podcast, where we dive deep into all things healing. I'm Denise, a speech language pathologist and a self love coach for adults and teens.
And I'm Kira, a traditional naturopath and functional nutritionist, and we're here to guide you through the transformative process of healing your body, mind, and soul.
From the latest in functional medicine to nurturing your relationship with yourself, healing trauma, and even transforming your money story, we're here to empower you with the knowledge and tools to create lasting change.
So whether you're looking to heal physically, emotionally, or spiritually, join us as we explore the many paths to wholeness and wellness. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Heal Yourself podcast. Before we kick it off, we want to just make a little announcement that we have launched some premium content. Denise is in the background dancing. So, guys, these are bonus episodes. They're short, right? These aren't the 20 to 30 minute episodes, but super short, 2 to 5, maybe 10 minutes max. It's us rambling, but we promise it's valuable rambles pertaining to things that we've been talking about in the podcast. We get a little bit deeper, get a little more personal, and we're also going to be taking Q&As from people, meaning if you throw us a message on Instagram or wherever, we will address those questions in the premium content. And guys, you get the first week free, and then you sign up. It's a whopping $2.99 a month, which is less than a cup of coffee now. So
it is, because the grande hot latte from Starbucks is $5.21.
Thank you for knowing that. I'm not going to
That's
comment
with
on
oat milk.
Starbucks.
I think you
That's
can get
right.
it less if you don't do oat milk, but yeah, just to let you know.
Okay. So yes, just wanted to share that, guys. Give it a try. But yeah, today we're talking about money. Money.
Honey.
I think this is a good topic. We've talked about money before, and I know we had a guest on that talked about money, but the money conversation is never done when it comes to healing because it's like such a thing. Like I will never forget when Denise and I launched our first program. I don't even, when was this, like 8 years ago? And I was like,
I
I don't
think
know,
so.
like $49. And she's like, what? Girl, you have money blocks. And I'm like, what is a money block?
I know.
I didn't even know what it
She's like,
was.
what if people can't afford it? I'm like, what? Are you the financial advisor or something? How would you know what they cannot afford? Like, and that's how sometimes we approach things. Like we think, oh, I can't charge this much because people can't. And it's like, you're not in their bank account. So yeah, I think this is something that, you know what, we're gonna also be transparent because this is how you and I roll. It is something that we have not been discussing because we have been a little bit insecure about it. And I, told you the other day because I know that this podcast really was very healing to me. Like it taught me a lot, right? And because the all of the subjects and the guests and the research that went behind the scenes before we go on air, um, I was like, you know what? Let's address it so we can also address the elephant in the room. Like, let's
Yeah.
talk about it. Let's be transparent about it, and let's just tell it what it is and see our perspective about it and what you
Yeah.
and I understand from our mentors and everything that we learned about it.
And I think it's just starting the conversation. We are not money experts, right? But we are experts around the healing space. And for a lot, healing needs to happen with money. And I mean, it's based on your upbringing, right? Like even just starting this conversation with money, what happened in your body? Were you like, oh yeah, this is going to be an awesome conversation? Or was it like, I'm like tensing up?
I don't want to
Or
hear it. Yeah.
yeah, or like one of the things one of my mentors once said is like, I want you to just pretend, like close your eyes and pretend somebody gives you $5. You're like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. Or like you find $5. Somebody gives you $20. Somebody gives you 100. Somebody gives you 10,000. Somebody gives you 1,000,000. Where do you start to flinch? That can be
Mhm.
really eye-opening.
Yeah. And then I really also want to add something before I forget that we don't put a cap on like love. Like, why do we put cap on money? Right? You don't say, well, you know what? I'm just going to give you like 5% love or
You're
10%
not
love.
worthy of all my love.
or, whatever. So we just, and I think also it is the society and the conditioning that we grew up in. And also this, I don't know if it's the same mentor, but another mentor of ours, he like, it's just money is just the paper,
Mm-hmm.
right? It is the meaning that you give it. Just like anything, you can go back to the meaning and interpretation episode that we did, right? So you give it, it's literally just a piece of paper that has numbers and colors on it. But it is what you do with that money that you give it meaning. Like, are you gonna take this money and, for example, pay for your car or pay for a trip? Or this is when it becomes like, the meaning that we give
Mm-hmm.
it versus what it actually is. So let's go back to just money is neutral. But I think as humans, and what we also learned and conditioned is to, I mean, worship it.
Yeah.
Because you worry too much about it, you do make it your master, and it's constantly like, oh, why can't you do this? I don't have money. Why can't you blah blah blah? Oh, I can't because it's just it costs too much money, or money, 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 and that's you're allowing that paper or whatever on the card to, because it's not paper anymore, heaven's sake. It's
Nobody takes cash
coins,
anymore.
crypto. The heck is crypto? I still don't understand it. Anyway, so why are we attaching and giving it so much power? We're actually giving it our power. So what's been helping me a lot is understanding that it should circulate just
Mm-hmm.
like the water and just like your blood, right? So when the water is stagnant, what happens to it, Kira?
Gross.
Yucky, mosquitoes and whatever. Same thing
Mm-hmm.
with your blood. If your blood doesn't
Yeah,
circulate,
it's true.
right? Same thing with the money. It's got to keep circulating. And when you think about it, right now I'm paying this car payment. It's going to circulate and then give people jobs that are in the bank or in that car payment place. Or let's say you are paying, you went to a mom and pop shop and you bought coffee. Well, with that money, they're going and buying whatever for their kids or investing. And it's not just the
Mm-hmm.
spending. We're not just talking about spending, it's also the investment. When you are investing in your IRAs or whatever, or donating or to the charities, it is circulating. It's not staying where it is. So when you view it like it is giving other people's jobs, it's letting people buy their homes or whatever, this is when you understand that I don't want to hoard it or giving or let it have power over me.
Yeah. And I think this is where it goes back to the beliefs too of like, if you're listening and you're like, oh, I never have money or I want more money, you're like the majority of society. But then you've got to, awareness, which we always say is number one. You've got to have the awareness because this was an area for me for a long time. When Denise first said you have money blocks, I started reading. I don't remember the book. You told me a book to read.
Get
Denise.
rich lucky bitch.
Yes, good book, guys. Good book. It's the first one I ever read.
I think
Um,
she has two of them now.
she probably does, but it
Yeah.
was it was a it was an eye-opening one because I'm like, oh my gosh, like I have so many beliefs around money that I'm sure were childhood. I don't know if it was all my parents, but even listening, mom, dad, I really hope you're not listening to this episode, but like still to this day in my 40s, I'll hear like, why are you buying a cup of coffee? You can make that at home. Or, oh my gosh, you're spending that much when you're going out to dinner. And I grew up thinking like, you don't spend, lavishly, you need to save. I believed that like having a lot of money, it's so funny to say this out loud. It's like I believed and I didn't believe that having a lot of money made you bad because you would see people out there, but it was like, well, but I see people who are making a lot of money and they're doing good stuff, but like for some reason that layered down within me was still like, ooh, but money is not good, even though it sounds so stupid to say out loud right now. So I think it's so
No, it's
important.
not.
It's
That's what the
not.
healing part
Yep.
is of you and me. And that's why I started this with the transparency,
Yeah.
So it is, it's just, it's also our insecurities and our conditioning that we grew up with. Or for example, like you said, I mean, when someone has bad intentions, they're gonna do bad things,
Mm-hmm.
whether they have money or not. Yeah, sure, they may use money for bad intentions, absolutely. But what happens when someone like you has the money and is circulating it, right? For
Yeah.
example, let's say, same when you redo your house, what are you doing to your neighbors? The value of your house is going up. When you are going out there and donating to charities, they're being able to do that, right?
Mm.
So it is the whole concept of just changing that perspective. I'm a good person and I do good with the money I have. I mean, if you're not charging for your services and you're being all noble and not charging for your service,
Mm.
how are you gonna buy your groceries? How are you gonna eat? How are you gonna continue circulating it?
And
How? You're
this is a
gonna be homeless?
this is a big thing in the spiritual and the health world of people. Like, I can't tell you over the last decade how many people would be like, why do you charge for your services? I'm like, it's still a job. You don't go to, the car mechanic and say, I expect you to repair my car for free. You don't go to the grocery store and say, I should get my groceries for free. And it's the same thing. Like, this has taken work for me to even raise rates over the years. It's like, wait a minute, this is a job. I have bills to pay. I have a kid. Like, I can't work for free. And those that are like, but Mother Teresa did. Are you sure about
No,
that?
Mother Teresa raised a whole lot of money, a whole lot of money, and
Yes.
she didn't have any shyness or anything about raising money for the poor. Mother Teresa, I think, I've heard it on Kathy Heller's podcast. She addressed it. It is, she raised a whole lot of money. She had a
Mm-hmm.
lot of money circulating. She circulated the money,
Yes. And
right?
that's the
So,
thing.
yeah. I mean, she chose not to maybe buy lavish things for
Yeah. I
her.
don't think she had a Louis Vuitton.
No, but that's her choice. But that is
Exactly.
her choice, right? So and then but she was still serving. And even though
Mm-hmm.
like you and me, for example, or other people who are buying the Louis Vuitton, I have to say it correctly, or they're buying the lavish things or they're going on lavish but if they are also circulating the money, let's go back to circulating the
Yep.
money. Why are we making ourselves feel bad? Mother Teresa didn't want the bag, but you want to, and that is okay. You know what I mean? Like that, it doesn't make you bad
Yep.
if you want that Range Rover or you want the whatever car your dream car is. It is not. It's just how you choose to circulate the money, and you are still in service. You know what I mean? Like we don't charge for this podcast. Yes, of course. Right now we added premium content because we want to dive deeper, and it's like talking to your best friend, right? When you
Mm-hmm.
have something, you call your best friend. That's how we're addressing the premium content. We added that. But you and I put out so much content out there that is serving and that is free, but also we need to feed our kids and we need to, invest in their activities, and the world needs to keep going on. And again, let's go back to, we don't put a cap on love. You don't tell your child, well, you know what, because I can't afford it, I'm just going to give you 50% love today.
And I think that's a good point because we live in a society that for some reason thinks, okay, the money's bad or wanting is bad. Where anywhere does it say that wanting is bad? Worshiping is not
Mm,
good, but wanting is something else. And so you gave the love analogy. There's also the tree analogy, right?
yeah,
Look
yeah.
outside right now. Look at the trees. Do you think that at some point they're like, ooh, I shouldn't take any more water or sunlight because I might take some from the tree next to me, so I'm just going to stop? Nature is all about abundance as much as they can get. But for some reason, humans think it's not okay to want more, when in reality, it is perfectly natural to want more. But it's what are you doing with that?
Absolutely. Desire is not bad, is worshiping. And again, when you
Mhm.
continuously giving money an excuse, this is when you're worshiping the money. You are giving it power over you. I can't do this because of this. I can't do this because of this. I can't do this because of this. And if you're listening to this right now and you're getting triggered, well, I have bills to pay, guess what? Both of us do. And remember, triggers are lessons. And then
Mhm.
or another one, the money comes in and it goes right away. Yes, because your nervous system is not safe holding it. It needs to spend it so you feel safe, because you feel safe in that chaos and you feel safe in the not having it. So this is where, guess what, good for you, you're being triggered. Take that trigger as a lesson and go work on regulating your nervous system and being able to hold more money, because you will, because you're able to hold more love.
Yeah.
I don't tell you, well, guess what? Don't, no. And let's go back to the tree analogy. I got fired up right now. Let's go back to the tree analogy. When you plant a tree, is it just it? That's it? Yep, I planted a tree. No, that tree is gonna be it's gonna generate way more trees because of the
Mm-hmm.
pollen and all that stuff. Like you mentioned, nature is abundant. Look out. Look out and
Look at the
look
squirrels
at your
hoarding
grass.
nuts in my ceiling right
Oh
now.
gosh, yeah, the squirrel, they're being so abundant right there. She has a whole abundance. Back a while back, we had an abundance of rodents.
Ew. Ew.
I know. They're disgusting.
We
And
know
but
they're.
they don't care. They lay out their
Mm-hmm.
their poop everywhere. Right? So it's just really important to take the triggers that, if it's in your body, you're feeling it right now, like, oh my goodness, girls, you touched a cord, you touched something, love on
Right.
it.
Yeah.
Love on it and be like, dude, I have things to explore. Why? What did I
Mm-hmm.
hear growing up? And how can I change it? Remember, Kira and I are all for moments of awareness. We're not telling you to have huge transformations and great rainbows and daisies and you're not gonna have problems. It's not gonna happen.
No.
But it's that 1% shift, that 1% change, that 1%, you know what? I didn't think about it right now. So next time I buy a cup of coffee that's $6, I'm not gonna cringe and then, make myself feel guilty. I'm just gonna be like, guess what? This money is circulating because it's giving these people jobs.
Yeah.
And that coffee shop is gonna pay for their kids' volleyball. And then their volleyball coach is gonna buy this car from another small business. You know what I mean? Like that's how it
Yeah.
goes. And then you can keep it going.
Yeah. And I mean, you said it in the beginning. Money is neutral. It's not good. It's not bad. It doesn't mean that you're greedy. It doesn't mean that you are on a power trip. It doesn't mean that we need to shame people with money. Money itself is neutral. It's the person behind the money. And if you are scared of making more money, you're not making the amount of money you want, you can't hold on to the money, then that's a clue right there that some of your beliefs are not, like worth questioning for sure. And you mentioned that nervous system piece, and I feel like I don't know the episode, guys, but we did interview someone and she talked about money and she talked about not being able to hold on to money and just the idea that money issues very much relate to the nervous system. Because think about it, the nervous system is safety. If you again hear me say, hey, do you think you can make $500,000 next year? And you're like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Ding,
If
ding,
you're
ding.
panicking and freaking out. Yeah.
Yes. Nervous system. It's nervous system. So all of the things that we talk about on here are relevant. They all tie in together, right? You have a
Absolutely.
relationship with money. So those relationship episodes we've done, even if you're not in a toxic relationship with someone else, do you have a toxic relationship with money?
Aha, there we go. And it's time to heal it. It's
Yeah.
time to heal it. It's time. And then, again, if you're cringing, you're like, oh my goodness, this is where the regulation comes in. Start questioning. Where did I get this belief? Yeah, go back to our previous episodes where we talked about questioning. We talked about putting meaning and interpreting and money is neutral. Don't make it your master. Don't worship it. Don't worship it. It's not worth it. You don't go and worship the trees.
I mean, there's tree hugging, but
I
and
guess you
that's the
can.
thing.
I
If
guess you can. I don't know. You can worship the trees, whatever, but
yeah,
you know what I mean.
yeah, I get it. And that's the thing. Like if you're, because here's the thing. I see stuff on social media and I cringe, right? I cringe. I've seen so many people, "Hey guys, I can't make my payment this month. Can you cash at me? Can you Venmo me?" I don't know if Denise is making faces. You haven't seen those?
No.
Oh my gosh.
Are
I
you
see them.
kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding you. I see it in the mom's Facebook groups. I see it all
And
over of
people give them money?
people give them money. But here's the thing. We've talked about thoughts, we've talked about beliefs, we've talked about emotions, being versus doing. Like this all ties together. If you're struggling every month, right? And I'm not saying like we can all go through hardships. So
Oh,
don't
absolutely. And you and I
misunderstand me.
have. You and I
Yes.
have. We're not sitting
Yes.
here saying we have not. We
No.
have. Like
But
I
if
for sure have.
every month you're like, "Oh my gosh, it's such a struggle. I live paycheck to paycheck. I have this job that barely pays me." Who do you need to be in order to
Uh-huh.
get a better job, make more money, hold on to more money? So
Are you
You
holding on to that toxic job
mm-hmm.
out of safety? Remember, it goes back to the safety. Do you need to change it? Oh, there aren't any jobs out there. What do you mean there aren't any?
Are. There's
Who
always
says?
jobs.
Who
Yeah.
says? Right, again, it does go back to the belief and what you're willing to interpret, not interpret, and to that safety. So it is really important to start having the questioning, question those beliefs, question those values that you grew up, question that upbringing. We're not saying to be, to say, why did my parents do this to me, or why did my
Mhm.
community, or whatever. You know what? They did the best they could
Yep.
with the tools that they have. Guess what? We're in 2026 and we have different tools. Utilize them. There's different research about the thoughts, about the experiences, about the, I mean, our body can heal itself. I mean, look at Joe Dispenza's work.
I know.
So are you telling me that you cannot, you know, make the money that you want to make?
Wrong. I'm like, wrong. Just wrong.
And all, like, there's an abundance. Look at the abundance that we have in our bodies, the
Mm-hmm.
cells that we have, the functions it does. Why are we giving so much meaning and so much power to just this? And I've done it before. And
We
I
all, I'm
have
sure
been
we
in
all have.
hardships, absolutely. Living paycheck to paycheck, or like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? Da, da, da. I have. But the minute I started healing my nervous system and being
Mm-hmm.
safe in my body, this is when things started to shift.
Yeah.
I remember I would be like, I would see money like a coin on the ground and be like, oh, whatever, it's a dime. Who freaking cares? But now, no, I make the intention of say, thank you, universe, for sending me this abundance,
Yeah.
even if it's a dime or a penny.
Because it's a relationship, right?
But
When
I'm
your
not
kid tells you, I
refusing.
love you, you don't just say, oh, thanks. It's the same. It's the same thing. Find the
You're like,
corn.
excuse me, I have 10% today. Take that back. Right? So you don't, yeah. So I started to also appreciate, and it's not just the abundance of them, and we've talked about it. We're meant for more, not just in materials, in everything.
Mhm.
Just, today is a great day. I'm open to receive. But again, though, don't tie in your worth to how much you make,
Yep.
or how much is in the bank, or how much investments, or how many materials things you have.
That means
Want
nothing.
it, desire it, manifest it, but let go of the how and the when.
Yeah.
And this is when miracles start happening.
Yeah.
Take aligned actions. I get it. So
Because it's
that's what
not the
you're aligned.
money. It's not
No,
even the money that people are after. And if someone's like, yes, it
no.
is. It's the money for the groceries.
Mm-mm.
No, it's the groceries, or it's the trip, or it's the shoes, or it's the car, or it's the house. It's those things that you're after. Money's
It's the
just another
feeling
tool.
usually. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the feeling. So start questioning right now, like, why do I want that money, the car, the whatever? It is the feeling. You want peace, you want happiness, you want comfort, you want excitement, you want adventure. Have them now, with or
Yeah.
without it.
Yep.
Have them now, with or without it. Have the peace, whether you have $5 in your bank account or 5 million, because the money doesn't buy the peace. Sure, it buys the comfort. I'm not going to deny it. Absolutely not.
But
And
not
you
the
and
peace.
I, Kira, have seen stories after stories about people who had nothing, who were homeless, who were probably in prison.
Yeah.
We know stories, right, of
Yeah.
people who overcame that just because they thought and they changed differently.
Hmm.
Because when you think differently, you feel differently, you change the habits. You will be that person with those new emotions. You become a different person, hence, you change your personal reality. And go back to the Groundhog Day episode.
Yeah. Last, no,
So
not
if you're
last
living
week.
paycheck to paycheck, why am I living paycheck to paycheck?
Hmm.
What needs to change? Who do I need to be so I don't live paycheck to paycheck? What am I tolerating? When money comes in, do I have to spend it just to feel safe? Why?
Questioning everything. It's being your own best coach at the end of the day.
Yeah, absolutely.
We can we can end it there. Beautiful mic drop moment. So I was done.
There we go. Yeah, no, I know I know we talked a lot, but we're all about moments of awareness and that
Hmm.
1% shift. If you're gonna leave right now, be like, you know what? I'm just gonna change that 1% shift about it.
Or I'm even just going to start questioning my relationship with money. That's great.
Exactly.
Great.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay.
So,
We're going to do
oh, we
breathing
end
work.
usually with the breathing.
Hmm.
Okay. And with the affirmation, today's affirmation is I am abundant.
Amen.
I am abundant. All right. So we are going. If you're driving, please do not close your eyes. Can you imagine someone's
No,
like, they told me to close
please
my
don't.
eyes? But if you're not driving, please make sure you put your hand on your heart, another hand on your stomach, and let's breathe in for 4, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 4, 3, 2, 1, and exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. While saying I am abundant, we're just going to do it one more time. Inhale for 4, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 4, 3, 2, 1, and exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. I am abundant.
I am abundant. Now
There we
go
go.
out and set the world on fire.
Yeah.
All right, guys. You know what to do. Leave us a review, please. Please, please, please. If you've been listening, we would appreciate the reviews and the follows on Instagram and share it with a
Yes.
friend who needs this information. And we'll see you on the next episode.